Welcome, Kaitlyn. Thank you for coming today.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. I'd love to jump right in here. And let's talk about what you think some of the most significant challenges are that you will face over the next 12 months.
So we're seeing a lot of interest in health and well-being at the moment. We're seeing, people asking a lot of questions. I think for that topic specifically, it's really getting more and more clients to be engaged with the topic and see, the long-term benefits of, investing in some short-term measures that right now that will have, short-term and long-term benefits for their staff and employees. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. And do you find that with those groups, is there a certain age range you're looking into more, or is it just across the board for all workspaces?
Everyone. And not just workspaces. So we're talking about, educational facilities, healthcare facilities, every type of environment where you live, work, play, recover, go to school, anything can benefit from these strategies.
Because it doesn't matter where you are, you're in a environment, right?
All the time, exactly.
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
You took the
never
words
get away
right out of my mouth.
I like that. On that note, where do you see some of the most ideal opportunities over the next 12 to 24 months?
So in Calgary, and this is what we spoke about today, I really think the existing office space has a lot of opportunities to, reinvest, reinvigorate, try to get some of the vacancy rates down a little bit in Calgary. And I think schools and healthcare. I think they're areas where we have some of the most vulnerable populations that we really need to be investing in these opportunities, and affordable housing as well.
Absolutely, for sure, those vulnerable areas. Basically, do you find that when you focus on schools, is it easier to get more people on board with that and understanding the direction you're trying to head, or what would be your reason there?
I think for schools, people get it. I think people want to do the right thing. I don't think we always have the means to do the right things for public sector projects.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I think we're working on that, and I think, our clients are trying to work with that as well.
So then, as we look ahead to maybe the evolution of Calgary or of Edmonton, what urbanization and development trends do you see over the next decade?
I think health and well-being, of course, but I also think being adaptive and resilient to climate change is going to be a big one that we need to look at.
Absolutely.
So more, being more resilient to heat stress. So we're going to see hotter days. We've seen the impacts of it in places like Quebec this past summer, where several people died because it was too hot in their environments. So they couldn't find a place that was cool. Water quality, water access, droughts. I think we really need to be more responsive and adaptive and resilient to climate change.
Who are you targeting to get the message out there and to get people on board and everybody kind of moving in the same direction?
Everybody.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter. Like all of our clients, are receptive to these, ideas. It's just getting there. Yeah.
It's just getting the message out, just connecting with people, whoever you can get in front of anytime. Yeah. Perfect. I love that. So then, kind of with these new ideas of the health and wellness, which new technologies then in that realm do you think will become a game changer here as we move along?
Oh, I think circadian lighting, for sure. So are you familiar with that?
I'm not.
So light changes throughout the day. So in the morning time, it's a cooler color. It's more blue, and as natural light. And as the day progresses, it gets more orange and orange until the sun sets.
Okay.
And so typically we've been under very static lighting conditions, which have been very high blue spectrum. And that affects our melatonin production, which is a powerful hormone that our brain secretes at nighttime. It prevents or helps prevent things like cancer, obesity, diabetes. It's one of the reasons that shift workers have such a high incidence of breast and prostate cancers, because they're exposed to so much blue light when they're meant to be secreting melatonin. And it also affects our circadian rhythm, which is part of that. So we will actually think it's daytime when it's not. And that's part of the screen culture too, with looking at a blue screen before you go to bed is contributing to that problem, but also the types of light that we're under. So circadian lighting design strategies, so tunable LEDs is one of the technologies that have come out. So that will actually change color throughout the day, mimic more of the sun. So then in the afternoon, you won't have that high intensity blue light that a lot of traditional fluorescents and LEDs have, emitted, and you'll have more orange and red tones, and I think that's a game changer. But it doesn't just have to be a very expensive, potentially expensive technology like that. You can have layering strategies. So I'm going to use these lights at this time of day, and I'm going to use this light at this time of day. It's just having the opportunities in the space.
So you mentioned inexpensive. That was exactly where my head went. Could this potentially be quite costly, or is there a lot of not necessarily discount, but cost-effective ways that businesses can go about getting on board?
Yeah, so tunable LEDs are still quite a new technology to the market. Some people are piloting them. There's a healthcare project on Vancouver Island that I know of that's doing it. But again, light layering, so having the right fixtures, using them at the right time of day, that can be a more cost-effective way to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you'd mentioned with cell phones. Obviously, that's one that hits pretty close to home with everybody.
Yeah.
Are cell phone companies taking the responsibility to manage that at all? Do they care? Is there any benefit to them to?
So do you have an Apple product?
I don't have an Apple product.
Okay. So Apple products have something called night shift on them.
Okay.
So you can change the color temperature, and it can be preset, or you can kind of fuddle with it.
Yep.
And there's something called FLux or Flux, some people call it that, which you can put on PCs, and then slowly it'll get more orange.
Okay.
So if you turn it at midnight, if you're working and you have it on, your screen will look quite orange. If you turn it off, it'll really wake you up. It'll be bright blue, but you won't have noticed the shift throughout the day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very subtle.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. So they're trying to do something.
They are trying
to get on board.
They still want people to use their products 24/7, but you know.
Absolutely. Who wouldn't want to be
exactly.
in their shoes, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So I referenced myself there, so I'll say it again. What advice do you have for the younger generations then who are coming into the industry, who might want to follow in what you're doing or follow a similar path to yourself?
I think learning about the things that are on the fringe. I think it's really easy to get caught up on what everyone else is doing or thinking that technology is impossible. I think, investigating things that you're really passionate about and learning as much as you can about that topic and being able to speak and communicate your ideas effectively, I think is very important. Yeah.
No, it makes so much sense. And it seems like with new technology comes a new generation, comes that fringe idea of getting outside the box, right? Yeah. I love that. So then for yourself personally, looking back, what was the best project you've worked on or seen recently in the market?
Yeah, so I'm currently working on a project that's located at Fort Edmonton Park in Edmonton, and it's going for LEED version 4. It's the new Indigenous Peoples Experience Culture Center, and the architect has really incorporated a lot of biophilic design strategies into the project, so integrating nature and natural processes in the built environment. So I'm really excited to see the reception for that project. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, Kim, thank you very much for sitting down today. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of your day.
You too.